What's happening, y'all? So I am working on the pigs again today. You all had some great suggestions. First off, thank you all for making me feel better that this plan will work with having this trailer here and them getting in it. An update, they are picking around in it, and let me get in here next to show you. So, as you can tell, my ramp did not work. They just completely knocked it off. It wasn't big enough and all that good stuff. But they have been in here. You can tell they're messing around with their corn, but they're only doing it a little bit. And I don't like how it's so sloped. I tilted it this way so it'd be lower to the ground, but that makes it very sloped inside, and I'm sure uncomfortable. So the goal is to make this feel more like a home for them and want to sleep in it. That way I can just close the doors. And to do that, I think it needs to be a little bit more level. So I use this ramp. I started with that small one, which was just something that we had laying around in here. And then I tried to use the divider that was actually part of the trailer. So you can divide it and split it up to where you can have one on each side. I pulled it out, but see how it's got the bar, the big frame? It didn't fit in here, so I had to put it like at a tilt. And that didn't work either. They knocked it off. So I am going to build one for them and have this leveled out so it's a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more like home. I had a pretty positive feeling that I was going to have to do this. I was just waiting until I had a second to do it. I had a crazy week at work, and so it's finally the weekend, and I'm able to actually do this appropriately. But there's no worries. They've been eating, and they're fine. They're over here eyeballing me. But now it's time to get them something that's a little bit better. So what I'm thinking is I'm actually going to do 2 ramps, one on each side of this, so I can actually get it up in there and make it a little bit better for them if my scrap wood has enough. But at a minimum, I'm going to get one side done here, which should be plenty of width for them and make them happy with being able to get up in there. So let's get on it. So it's 26.5 width. What I'm thinking is I have those 6-foot fencing boards, and that might be long enough to make it, yeah. So at 6 foot, yeah, that should be good enough. The one thing I do know that I need to do is make sure that it doesn't bow in the middle. They won't like that. They won't be a fan, and they might not use it. So I have to brace it pretty good to get that going. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to mention. So all this fencing behind here, a lot of people said maybe don't do that and tighten it up. They actually can't get back there. I've got it blocked off. Anytime with this Premier One fencing, it's great to use in these kind of situations. The biggest thing though that you got to remember, if you have to like clog it up or whatever you need to do, you're also going to threaten yourself to short yourself out. So that's why I just did that over there, just to kind of block it out and make it stretched out tighter. But I did like your all's idea on starting to pull the fence in and making it tighter and tighter for them. One thing I do think I'm going to do too is their actual home over there. Excuse me. I think I'm going to block it off to where they can't get in it anymore. So that way the only shelter they have is this. And I think that'll just help eliminate some areas that they can go to get away from here and just force them into this. So that will also be on the docket today. I'm also trying to beat the rain. This is what the next 5 months of Kentucky will look like. We'll get a sunny day here and there, but for the most part, until March, that's what we look like. Alright, I got my 26 and a quarter to a half. Definitely don't want it to be too tight in there to where I don't get it in. But now I'm going to run an extensive amount of 2x4s across to do that bracing so it doesn't bow. So I'll probably do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe six of them. Just to really make sure it's good and reinforced. You know one thing I'm really going to like? here in my very near future is having a daggone garage to do this stuff in. It will be nice. It will be nice. So what I kind of like to do is I'll cut one and then I'll stack it, do my cuttings from there so they all stay the same. I'm not looking for anything perfect here. Just enough to get the daggone pigs in the horse trailer. That's the only plan. Glasses, safety. I think it's gonna work out. I have to give me probably 2 more. Okay, I still got bowing, so I'm gonna have to get something like a cement block or something to put underneath there to stop that. Okay, got some blocks under there. Let's do a grown man test. If it holds me, it should hold a pig. No bow, that's good. Let's level her up a little. Okay, what do y'all think? Here's what I know that's probably gonna happen. They're gonna destroy it. They'll knock it off. They'll do all that fun stuff because it's not secured into the thing. Because that's what they do, that's what pigs do. Can't really hate them for it. It's part of their daily life. But it's sturdy, it's wide, it doesn't wiggle whatsoever. It should work. We'll see. Ideally, I wish I had thicker boards up here to do the top. Maybe a 2x4 probably would have been better. But this is what I had laying around, and I was not about to go spend money on a ramp that will probably only be used once. Yeah, so we have these pine boards. I just reinforced it with some boards underneath, and that way it doesn't bow any, and it's very steady. And hopefully it will be good for them, and hopefully it'll get them to go in here a little bit more and really start making it good. But I think this was the last step that I really needed. I'll see if one will work. If it doesn't, I'll move to doing another one, but I don't think that'll be necessary. Okay, so the pig pen is hopefully complete. We'll see how that works out with them. It's definitely better than what it was, and I'm happy that the trailer is more level now. I didn't like how it was so sloped. I always think about like when you go camping and you're like sleeping on an air mattress that's slightly sloped, and you end up at like the bottom of the bed. I feel like that's what would happen to the pig. So hopefully with it being a little bit more level and with the hay in there and their food, they might be a little bit more willing to sleep and hang out in there. But I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about some stuff that I've been seeing. Nothing technically that's been happening to Jen and I, but stuff that I've been seeing that I just kind of wanted to address. As y'all know, I used to do a podcast for a little while. I did probably 4 episodes. I really enjoyed it. But honestly, it's just one of those things where we have so much stuff going on. If we start spreading our stuff too thin in a bunch of different outlets, everything hurts from that. So I decided not to do them anymore, but sometimes I like to take the video and give a little bit of that. So today is a little bit about judging. 2020 has been an incredible year. We've all had to really learn who we are and adapt and really change things. Not totally for homesteaders, we're kind of used to it, but you'd be lying to yourself if it wasn't a little frustrating to not just be able to do whatever you wanted whenever you wanted. And what that translates to is more people talking on social media than I feel like they even did before this, because that's their getaway. That's their go out to town and forget about some stuff, so they get lost in Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. And we have this like underlying subconscious thing to where we might not be as happy as we would be just because there's some other stuff in our life that might be going on. Maybe it's just 2020 in the world. And then I start seeing people taking it out on each other. People sharing memes that are extremely passive aggressive, judging, pointing fingers at like groups of people like moms or dads or how raising kids and stuff like that and how they don't do that. And it really blows my mind. Why people are starting to turn their back on each other. And I'm not even talking politics here. We don't do that, and I'm not going to. I'm talking just people to people, friends, stuff that I've seen like people talk to each other friendly, and then there's a meme that comes out that's about the homeschooling that's happened to happen, or the virtual schooling that people are being thrown into. And the next thing I know, I look in the comments and people are fighting, and I'm like, what are you all doing? It blows my mind. Obviously, we need a little bit more human interaction than what we're getting, but I can feel some darkness in some hearts right now, and I'm urging you all to stop. When we judge one another's, it doesn't affect the person that you're judging. You're judging yourself, and that's an incredible quote to continue to remember anytime you want to point a finger or think that someone else isn't doing something right, and you share something. You're just judging yourself and you're showing it to the world. If people do something one way and you do it differently, haven't we learned by now there's more than one way to do things right? It's quite amazing how grown adults with children haven't caught that just yet. So hopefully soon, and hopefully if we keep pushing it and keep talking about it, it'll open some eyes. Maybe if they don't agree with something they see, they'll just pass on by it in social media. And when I say that, when you pass by something on social media because you don't comment on it directly, but then you share a meme or something other on your own personal thing, and then like it's about that person, but you're not calling them out, like that's the same thing. Don't do that either. That's actually worse. That's that passive aggressiveness that is just quite ridiculous, that we can wholeheartedly control. Because the one thing to remember, if you saw their status, they can see yours, and the 2 and 2 go together, and then there's talking behind each other's backs, and we just get really riled up with one another. And I want you all to urge to do better on social media. Whether we like it or not, it is a powerful platform that really impacts people's lives. For the most part, well, not for the most part, nothing's bothered Jen and I. Nothing ever does. And I'm not talking on a personal experience here. I'm literally just talking about friends of friends and stuff that's on social media that I'm seeing. So my whole point of that is, with the year we've all been through, it's more important than ever for us to bond together, to be strength in numbers, and to have each other's back. You know, bless your brother, bless your sister. And social media impacts that as well. You know, having each other's back, supporting one another, because even if it might seem silly to you and it might just seem like a social media thing, this stuff really impacts people's minds. And you need to remember that. I've lost another friend this year to suicide, and that was very hard. My high school graduation class seems to have been impacted really hard with just suicide. It's happened a lot. And unfortunately, more and more people I've talked to this year, they know someone that's committed suicide. And I can almost tell you, I know more people that committed suicide than died of coronavirus just in this year. And so a lot of that has to do with social media. And I'm being wholeheartedly serious. Social media can really fuel people's minds more than you know. So let's do better to bond together. Like the Stivers Tribe group. I can't thank you all enough for making that group just one of the safest, most amazing places to be in social media. I love it. I love that we all have each other's backs. Anytime someone asks a question, there's not a negative remark. It is truly lifting spirits, and that's what it'll always be, because Jen and I will make sure it stays that way. But I'm telling you, on your personal Facebook, take what you take out of that Stivers Tribe and let it spread out amongst everywhere. Kill it with kindness. Make sure to stay non-judgmental, and definitely stay less passive-aggressive, because those memes do have a point, and you know what you're doing when you post it. So just keep that in mind. Keep spreading the joy, keep spreading the happiness. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. It's kind of short and sweet, but we have had a crazy week of packing. Wyatt's room's completely cleared out. Our living room, kitchen room is completely cleared out. So we really just have our bedroom, bathroom, and Raylan's room, and the pantry to go. But we're getting there. It's gonna be nice when it actually comes to loading day and we can just take boxes. We're not like throwing things in trash bags that we forgot out. It's just boxes, loads, and let's get out of here. So it's been just busy and crazy. We're actively doing things in the out here on the homestead, really just getting ready for the move. And thank you all for continuing to join along with us. I hope you heard something that was a little impactful today. Maybe next time you just scroll on social media, you'll think about my annoying voice to maybe just move on by or lend out a lifting hand. Usually if someone is being aggressive or passing stuff out, they have a demon of their own they're trying to deflect from. So make sure that you're reaching out to those folks. Reach out to people that you might feel need a hand or just a pat on the back or a virtual hug. We need to be watching out for one another and stay bonded. Well, y'all, we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be live day. Super excited. One of our favorite days of the week. It's the most uplifting Monday night that you ever have. So if you haven't caught our live, it's on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So this should be out on Sunday. So make sure that you give that a check out. And then we'll go in through a whole nother week of who knows what's going to happen on Stivers Homestead. All right, y'all, we love you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.